the black content creator space, we need a reality check because people feel like they cannot start a platform without some type of drama. And I get both sides of the coin. I get how the algorithm works. I get it pushes negativity further. I get you get more views with the negative content, the goofy stuff. You got the pop the balloon. Then the pop the balloon guy goes on the TV show and he's fighting every week on the TV show. And that's the way to get the popularity. Then you got somebody over here that's doing meaningful, impactful content and the algorithm's not even pushing it. So a lot of people who want to do that will lose hope and go, well, shit, if I do that, I'm not going to get no views. I'm not going to get monetized. I ain't going to get no money. Nobody going to pay me no attention. So I'm just going to go do what's working for everybody else because everybody's afraid to start their own lane and make that crack the way we are.
I think the only people that start their own lane are the ones who really want to do it for real, though.
That's
like a lot of people, they only follow suit or follow what everybody else is doing because this isn't something that they really want to do forever, or they'd have that 10-step plan, or they put in that 10,000 hours. So they're only doing it because they seen somebody they know do it and get off on doing it. And they're like, okay, let me just give it a try.
Or it might seem easy. They think you just get on there, like you say, and just go ahead.
Or like, whereas with us, it's like we had a purpose. We know we want to inspire minds. We want to, you know what I mean, grow in a real way in our own lane. And that's hard to create your own lane unless you know what I mean, you really want to do it for real. Then you don't really care about the naysayers. You don't care about, okay, I might not be getting the most views at this point because in your mind, this is what you really want to do for real. Whereas in these other people, they don't really know what they want to do. This is just what seems to be the next big thing. When we was over here talking about politics and conspiracies, people were still on the bullshit, the messy shit. So, and we knew from then that it would always pan out the way we wanted to, and it's going to continue to. Where these people are just like, well, I'm just seeing this pop up now. Let me just jump on this boat and just see where it takes me. Niggas aren't, like you said, niggas aren't really making content with intention to do anything. They're just doing it because somebody else is doing it.
And you took a thought out of my head. I was just going to say, just imagine a ship at a dock and it does not have a destination. What do you think is eventually going to happen to that ship? It's never going to sail nowhere. You know what I'm saying? The captain of the ship has no direction, no way to go. He's just going to get caught up in the ocean, and you're going to drown in that motherfucker. So you need a destination or some type of goal or some type of something to work towards, and that's going to keep you going in the long run. Stick to the mission, whatever your mission is, and define that and be that.
Yeah, basically, I'm gonna just go back to prioritize what's in your household. Us as the Black community, we kind of prioritize entertainment, clothes, shit that doesn't hold any type of substance. Really, at the end of the day, we teach our kids. You know, we'll play the rap music all day long instead of having them sit down for about 20, 30 minutes to read a book. Just even something small like that. We'll let the kids be on screen time for hours at a time as long as they're not bothering us. We got to get back into creating realistic goals for our children, setting the tone with ourselves and leading by example. Again, it was times where I done seen kids be on the phone all day. You walk in the room, they don't even lift up just to speak and say hi. It's just like now at this point, if it's not entertainment, if we're not being that dopamine coming, it's like we don't care. They don't want to learn or anything like that. So the goofy shit, the dumb shit, that's what's attracting. Unfortunately, we're the only culture that really pushes it out there. Any other race can do it. They're nipping in the bud like, hey, don't do that. You go to China, they're not doing it out there. They control the media. You can't be ignorant on the internet out there in China. Out here for us, that's the way to get out the hood. So we got to start creating our own narrative as Black people of doing better.
And what's crazy is learning new things should give you a dopamine hit. When I turn into platforms or I go down rabbit holes or I read a new book, learning new information sets off my dopamine receptors. The shit that y'all are entertained by shuts it down. I can't watch it. It irritates me. I gotta turn it off.
You can't watch that.
I can't. It literally irks my soul. Yeah. So you have to reprogram your mind by what you're digesting every day because what you watch becomes your reality. I don't know if you know that. This is why certain people won't watch certain movies or read certain books or
doesn't resonate with them.
Some people don't even have TVs in their rooms.
It don't have TVs in their house.
Exactly.
Because what you're viewing becomes the thoughts that's scrambling around in your head, which becomes the reality you living in the real world. So if all you're viewing is bullshit, take a look at your reality. I guarantee you 99.99999% out of 100 people who watch Baddies, Pop the Balloon, or any of that goofy
love and
garbage
hip-hops,
bullshit, I guarantee you their life is dog shit and they're not successful.
Also-
Because they try to hide from the unsuccessful, terrible reality that they live in. So they're 9 times out of 10 alcoholics or drug addicts. And then they consume a bunch of bullshit to try to numb the feeling of them living nothing with no purpose.
And then they be trying to act like they them, trying to live that out in real life.
Exactly.
Thinking
Goofy
this shit
fuck.
real.
A lot of
And
people
wondering why you can't keep a nigga or something.
I was about to say, a lot of the women, they're living for their work hard all week, turn up for over on the weekend, getting drunk, having a hangover, saying, "Oh, I'm never gonna drink again." Right back when Monday come back around, they going back hard at work, and then what they doing Friday again, going back out, turning up again, bro. It's the same repetitive cycle.
And that's
unfortunately.
another cycle that you don't realize you get caught in. Cause I was in that for a minute where it'd be like people would hit me now and be like, it's Friday, and I'd be like, I'm in the bed. Because they're like, it don't matter now. I treat the days the same. Like you get the most out of every day if you live in a certain way, you try to at least. And it's like because you get stuck in a cycle where, like you just said, work slave for the 5 days, then I'm partying on weekends. Slave for the 5 days, party on weekend. That becomes a repetitive cycle. Then you wake up and you 50 years old and you sick with nothing. Ain't live no type of life.
I think a lot of it too is our culture has a tendency to live in a bubble where it's like we believe that this is the only thing that exists. And this is the most important shit that exists. Like we always have the conversation, people are like, I don't care about politics. Like that's not something that we can even think of because that's not in our bubble. That's not in our everyday, tangible things that we can touch and see and feel. So I think black people also in our culture, the people who create the content, they have to get outside of our bubble of what our culture even is, because a lot of it is just plainly that. Once you get outside of the bubble of what the culture is and you start to put shit on a scale of what is really important to the world compared to what our culture is, it'll have so much less value where maybe you will want to go and create other content, give people different types of messages and knowledge, because you're going to realize that, hey, this is a very, very, very small percentage of what the world is. Even on social media, it may seem like this is the know-all be-all, right? Because it's drama and it's violence and it's whatever the case is that's pushing it. But when you get outside of that, and even just following different people on social media, you'll see that this is a very small portion of what's making shit turn.
Hey, and understand this, man. Y'all got to change the way y'all reach out and deal with people. Because now we starting to get a lot of motion. Our names is getting dropped in a lot of rooms that we ain't even in yet, that we finna be in. And people starting to want to get attached to that, but they don't know how to just say, hey, let's work. So they feel like they got to throw shots because that's how they see everybody else doing it. We keep telling y'all we're not a part of this fake world. You notice how we came in the game. Our second episode ever was about Kanye West when the Jews pushed the button on him. And we jumped out there like, man, they doing Kanye dirty. Second episode, go look it up. We came in the game standing on business. We came in the game talking real life substance.
High power.
High power. We not these other niggas, bro. We different. Every time we get around people, man, I don't know how y'all doing this with the shit y'all talking. Y'all ain't been attached to nobody. It's different, bro. We made our own lane. Like, I just literally seen one of these niggas. I know for a fact Cub really want to fuck with us. He tried to clown me for talking the way I talk. Because, we've been going back and forth with Brick Baby. Like, oh, this nigga talking like he's a psychologist. Oh, having what he said. This nigga said basically something along the lines of being smart is actually dumb or something like that, or corny. And I'm like, this is the mindset of these niggas that's representing for West Coast podcast culture. So the rest of the world thinks we're that. We got to change that. Why is that funny, but not a nigga having a 5-word vocabulary who can only say on the dead homies and on the set? That's the shit you want to the forefront. Like, come on, bro. Expand your mind, because a lot of y'all haven't left that 4-block radius you grew up in, and you 50, 40, 35. You ain't left the block. You don't know what's out in the real world. Like Kylie just said, what you think this is your reality is a speck in the ocean. It's a thread on this carpet. You see how big this carpet is? This is like the world. You only have experienced one thread of this motherfucker.
And I think a lot of people don't step outside of it because they know they more than likely don't measure up. Not that they never can, but it would take work for you to measure up to other people and other things. Yeah, so as long as I stay in here, I'm top dog. Ain't nobody fucking with me. But if I go outside, I might be
that part.
I might not make the most money, right? I might not be the smartest. I might not be the coolest, or whatever the case is.
That's when you reach your best potential, when you're around people that are doing better. Because then when you're in that room networking, you can learn, you can pick up the lingo. That's just basically like when people saying they want to lose weight at the beginning of the year, even if you just go to the gym, naturally you're going to lose weight because the environment you in. You're going to do that. If you're not educated, you go to a library, you just start picking up little books at a time that you can read with your understanding. Eventually your vocabulary will expand. Your reading is going to get better. You just got to put yourself in better position to expand and do more. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like our culture, as far as like the Black podcast, is either hypersexual, gang banging, you know what I'm saying, violent. It's so watered down and diluted where everybody's talking about the same thing. So when you do get us on here, we like a breath of fresh air. So that's why the hate go come. That's why being smart is going to seem lame, because again, they can't measure up.
Anytime a nigga say that, they just intimidated.
But
That's all that
let's
is.
keep it G. Whoever liked it being dumb? Nobody did, nigga. That's why the niggas who couldn't read in class never
Got
raised their
clown.
motherfucking hand.
Oh yeah, popcorn.
If you popcorn their ass,
Popcorn
they
reading
never wanted to
crazy.
say nothing.
They saying
then they be
Island
ready,
instead of
then
island.
Ready to fight.
They ready to fight the nigga that popcorn. Niggas should never call me, nigga.
Motherfucker
So,
saying Island. No, that's island, motherfucker.
But even on top of that, I just think you got to define yourself and define who you are. It's like, if y'all choose to do that, that's cool. Just don't complain when the kickback comes. Don't cry about it. Don't do nothing about none of that when them other forces come at you. If you choose to be in a negative space every day, 24/7, that's on you. It's your life. But at the same time, most people don't know what they want. If you ask somebody what they want, they don't know what they want. You know what I'm saying?
real
Oh, I
talk.
don't know what I'm doing. You
They
just
want
you
$1
just
million,
going with them-
but what you go?
Yeah, you just drifting, and you a drifter. That's one of the worst things you could be at that point. It's like you might as well, I don't know, you might as well find the biggest building and find the fastest way down at that point, because that's all you're doing in a different form. So it's like, find something, define what you want, know what you want, and a lot of people, that's what make you unique in the things that you like and you're into. So a lot of people will shade that and mask it and feel like they got to be what everybody else is, because people are scared to be their true selves. That's all it is.
1%ers. That's what separate us, the 1%ers. When everybody go left, we went right. Everybody went right, we went left. And you could just look at COVID for an example. That's the perfect example. Following the crowd ain't always the best thing. Following the crowd is like following the herd to the slaughterhouse. You don't even know where y'all going, but you just following them. Well, shit, that's where everybody else is going. Next thing you know, your ass getting put through the wood chipper. So as far as the Black content world, have a plan, have an end game, have a goal, or find something else to do, because y'all embarrassing the fuck out of us.
Niggas need to think deeper
and
too.
niggas like us is tired of it. Y'all niggas is clowns. We're gonna start demonstrating on some of y'all, cuz, on the set.
Niggas need to think deeper too, right? Like, we'll come up here and niggas be like, oh, you seriousing us out by talking about the kids, or what are kids gonna think, or how's it gonna shape the minds of other men and women. That's how we do have to think every time we put out an episode, every time we think of an idea, because it has a chain reaction. So if you're only thinking about yourself and what you're gonna get out of it, and not what the world is or the universe is gonna get out of it, that's not really the way to do things. And I feel like that's how our culture, and especially the podcast, operates. They don't think about the casualties, quote unquote, that they're going to leave behind when they put out this damaging content. They just know, hey, I'm getting my chili off of it. I'm getting certain connections. People is fuck with me. And that's really all I care about. I don't necessarily care about what it's doing to the people and how it's affecting them. And that's one of the big things that do have to stop, in my opinion.
And that's why we see, when it comes to other nationalities, they know once a pictures get painted, or they know the power of that affecting this on their whole race. Because that's why you see, if a Jew comes out and you're not representing the Jews right,
They will check
You out of here.
they're gonna come get on that. And the same thing with different races. They're gonna make sure, because you represent yourself as a man at the end of the day, but just understand the kickback and the
Propaganda.
effects of the power of you. You have more power than you think. Everybody, you listening to this, got more power than you think. You know what I'm saying? So just us as a people, at some point, we always say the same shit. When do we want better for yourself? But a lot of people don't. A lot of people really hate themselves. A lot of people really don't believe they can do nothing outside of where they're at now. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to break those mental barriers. And that's why we always talk about cultivating the mind and doing different stuff. People can't sit down and read a book for 10 minutes, let alone even sit down for 10 minutes. So it's just like, we got a long way to go, but hopefully we see some transition.
We leading the way. We are the transition. We the wave. I keep telling y'all, we ain't worried about views. We ain't got to be the most viewed. We are the most impactful, though. You can look at everybody who got the highest view count and then look at the impact they've had over the culture over the last 2 years versus the impact we had. And we came from the dirt, nothing, zero cosigns. We started this by ourselves, co-signed ourselves, and we pushed so hard and respectable that it became lame to not support. You gotta support or you start to look like a hater when you don't support the real. That just is what it is. So we're gonna keep leading the way, the viral way.